All right. All right, so we're gonna start seated. So if you need to sit on anything, please go ahead and arrange for that. And we're gonna start doing our breaths. Okay. Lots of toys around me. So sit however is appropriate for you. Okay. Try to find the tips of your sit bones. So just rock the pelvis forward and back a little bit until you find the very tip of the sit bones. If you need to remove some flesh, go ahead, remove some flesh. Then we get the ribs to stack over the pelvis. So if your rib is back, try to bring it forward. And if your rib is forward, try to press it back. So the bottom rib is aligned with that hip, both hip bones here. Then make sure your head is tucked back just enough to where it's right in the center of your rib cage, and just give me your breathing. So if you're ready to go ahead and give me my rib breathing, go ahead. Send the breath to the back, side, and front of the ribs. Breathe out. Pull the pelvic floor. Hug the hips, ribs, and breathe in. Expand the ribs, back, side, front. Breathe out. Pull the pelvic floor off the floor. Then feel the pubic bone area. Sink and lift. Hugging hips, waist, and ribs. That's Eve back there joining us. Not joining us, just sitting. Give me two more. Relax the shoulders, relax the neck, no tension. And then try to see, let's switch the crossing of the legs as well, just for the next 3 breaths. And then try to remember that we're evening, that lift of the abdominals on both sides of the abdominal wall is even. So the way I like to do, so this side is my weak side. When I start pulling the pelvic floor, because this side is weaker, I try to think of pulling my sit bones up. So I think I'm going to lift my sit bones off the floor until I feel both sides working. I keep lifting, I keep scooping my abdominal in more on this side. And then I lift everything when I feel this side finally engaged almost or as much as this side. So I start all the way from my sit bones lifting. Give me 1 or 2 more. Think of lifting the pelvic floor, the sit bones off the floor. Scoop, lift, hug both sides. Last one. Good. All right. So let's do a little bit of spine flexion here on the breath out. So as you breathe out, pulling the sit bones, scooping the abdominals, let's move that pelvis back, just like we do when we're laying down, yeah? The pelvis tilt. So you're pulling the pubic bone in and up, you're tipping the pelvis back from your hip bones as well, pubic bone to hip bones, and rolling right behind your sit bones. Then just push it all forward and arch the back a little bit on the breath in. Breathe out. Try to round from the pelvis and not from your upper back. Breathe in. Lift and maybe bring your pubic bone forward a little bit. Breathe out. Scoop. Pelvis, pelvis, pelvis. Look, notice my shoulders are barely moving. It's just my pelvis and my low back. And then I bring my spine up and I dip my pubic bone slightly forward, arching that low back a little bit. Okay, so there's no movement on the upper back. Everything is right here on the pelvis and the low back. Scoop, hollow lift, don't tighten, hollow. And then lift that spine and bring that pubic bone forward, not the upper back. Good. And I'll try to get the whole back. Pelvis, ribs, back, drop the head. And then lift. Pubic bone forward, arch the back, lift the chest. If that bothers you, moving the whole spine, just keep the lower part moving. Shoulder down, pubic bone forward, lift the chest, arch that upper back, maybe a little bit, maybe not. Just mobilizing. Give me one more. From the pelvis, start the movement. And lift. And return to center. Let's do a little bit of lateral flexion. So lift the right arm up to the ceiling and come to the side. Now, remember, we always keep lifting and we always keep lifting through the ribs. So you're going up and over. This sit bone stays anchored. This arm is just helping you. And then breathe out, pull everything back through your abdominal muscles. Other arm goes up, reach. And keep reaching, reaching. Try to lift the side as well. Reach, reach. Shoulders nice and wide. So try not to lift through the shoulders, through the outer arm. Good. Keep going as far as you can reach from both waistlines and then come back. Change the cross of the leg and let's do one more to each side. Lift. Keep lifting. Connect the ribs. Imagine you're inside a very hot toaster. Keep lifting through both waistlines. Keep breathing in and out and maybe go a little bit further out. And then breathe out and pull everything back in. Reach up, anchor down. Reach, reach, reach. Anchor the sit bones. So the side you're moving away from, watch your head, Rani. You should be looking at me, yeah? Don't drop it. Keep everything between the ears and come back. Good. Let's add rotation. Both arms to ceiling. We're going to rotate to your right side first. So just rotate. Bring the arms down. Push yourself up. And now let's walk our hands. The front hand goes forward. The back hand walks back. And you keep rotating. Don't over-rotate the neck, but the neck is going to keep following. Keep pushing yourself up and then rotating. Good. And then just walk your hands back towards the side. Let's go back up again. Rotate. Lift, 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 and rotate. Bring the hands down. Push yourself as if you're trying to lift yourself off the ground. Walk the front hand forward and the back hand back. You're still pushing yourself up. Keep your ribs stacked over the pelvis. Keep going until you feel you can't move anymore. And then give me a couple of breaths of that really tough spot. Now walk your hands forward towards the side. Change the crossing of the leg. And we'll do one more to each side. Breathe in, arms to ceiling and lift. Really lengthen that spine. You're decompressing it to turn. Both sides. Reach the arms, hands to the ground. Push yourself up like you want to lift the whole body off the ground. Walk the hands. Keep breathing in to lengthen, breathing out to rotate. Breathe in, push and lengthen. Breathe out, walk, rotate. When you find your maximum twist, breathe 2 breaths. Make sure you're pushing and lifting. And after your 2 breaths, walk your hands back to the side. Breathe in, lift. Lift, lift, rotate, lift, rotate, lift, rotate. Arms to the ground. Push yourself, lengthen, like you want to lift the butt off the ground. Walk the hands. Keep breathing in to lengthen and push. Keep breathing out to rotate. Hollow and lift those abdominals when you breathe out. Push and lift. Walk the hands. Walk the front hand forward, the back hand back. When you find your maximum, keep your shoulders down and away from your ears. Give me 2 breaths. Maybe you can go a little more. And then when you're done, you walk the hands out to the side one more time. So we're going to sit with the knees bent and the feet in front of you. And we're going to do very gentle roll downs. We have to release our backs today for all the things we're going to do. So just keep the feet bent, the legs bent, feet on ground. I have them sit bones width, hands behind the thigh. Breathe in, lengthen. So the same thing we were doing when we were rounding. Scoop, pull the pelvic floor, round the pelvis. So think of rolling that low back. You're pushing the abdominals back to push the low back. The upper back is still not rounding much. Breathe in, roll forward. Find your sit bones, sit up tall. Breathe out, pull the sit bones, pull the pelvic floor, scoop, hollow, round that pelvis. So your pubic bone is lifting up to the belly button, and go a little deeper if you can. Breathe into your back and come forward. Breathe in, and lengthen and go. Let's do 3 more and try to go deeper each time. Breathe in to lengthen, stay long through the spine as you move. For those of you who are a little bit more advanced, if you prefer to keep your hands in front of you, that's fine. If you prefer to keep the hands here to help you flex more, I want you to really round that spine. Maybe get to your sacrum. Breathe in, short breath at the bottom to the back. Breathe out, scoop and come over. If you need to pull, shoulders stay wide. Stack, 2 more. Scoop. Pelvis is rounding, pubic bone is lifting to belly button, tailbone is reaching really long away from you. Quick breath into the back, breathe out, scoop and lift, round, 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 and up. Remember when we lengthen at the beginning, we keep that long body as we move back. So don't shorten and collapse, stay long. Last one, round more. See if your back is really released. Breathe in at the bottom, breathe out, scoop, and come up. Nice. All right, we're gonna straighten the leg from here. We're gonna stay up here. The back is a bit more released. Now, if you can't straighten the leg all the way, keep it bent or sit on something high, and we're going to do spine twist, okay? So this is not so easy on the legs and the hip flexor. So either your legs are bent to allow you to sit up tall, they're straight if you have the flexibility, or you're sitting on something high, okay? So if you're sitting on something high, be careful with the hyperextension of the knee. So keep the knee slightly bent so it's not pressing down beyond, yeah. All right, then arms are gonna come out to the side. Reach out. Good. From here, all we're gonna do is we're gonna twist. So we're gonna start twisting to your right side. Watch that your feet don't misalign and your pelvis doesn't misalign when you move. So lift the ribs, and then on a breath out, make sure you're moving from your waistline. So have your waist move you. Your arms stay as wide and in line with your shoulders. So it's not gonna rotate without the waist moving. Breathe in, come back to center. Reach the arms out, reach the spine up, and breathe out from your waist. Take this waist forward and the other waist back. Arms keep reaching out. Come back to center. Good. One more to each side. Breathe in, twist. Keep reaching the arms out and the crown of the head up. And come back. Make sure your feet are not misaligning. Flex your feet. And breathe in. Rotate. Now, I'm going to make it worse. We're going to do 2 pulses. So you're going to go on a breath out. Breathe in, come back to center. Breathe out. Breathe in, come back to center. 1 more to each side. I need longer spines, ladies. So everybody bend the knees a little more. Tamara, bend a bit more. Yes, Simone, I need you guys around it. I need you super straight, so everybody's going to have to bend the knees. Do 1 more to each side, now with those knees bent. Don't move the pelvis. Don't move the pelvis from the waist only. Simona, don't lead with the arms, lead with the waist. The arms reach out so they don't move. Good. Last one to this side. And bring your arms forward. Keep your feet flexed. We're going to roll down. So either you would do the regular roll down that we're used to, or you bend the knees and you hold, or you bend the knees and roll down, whatever is suitable for you. Nice. And we're going to come all the way down, bring your hands to the ground, bend your knees in, and we're going to go into some crunches. So inner thighs together, if we're okay with that, separate the feet and the knees if it compresses your back, arms to ceiling or behind your head or next to hips. We're going to crunch. Find your neutral. Now give me an imprint. Good. Stay on an imprint on this one. Arms to ceiling, tuck your chin, lengthen the back of the neck, scooping the abdominals, you're going to come up. So make sure you're really pulling, and we're a little bit more in an imprinted position today. And you're gonna roll down nice and controlled. You can reach the arms further back if you don't lose the stability of the ribs. Breathe out, scoop, crunch, press to the back of the ribs, open the shoulders wide, Look just between your inner thighs. Breathe in. Make sure it's your rib cage bringing you up, not your head. Breathe out. Scoop. Hollow. Come up through those ribs. And bring it back. Last one. And up. Good. And down. Now, bring your hands down. Let's do a little bit of marching. So breathe in, breathe out. Float the leg up on the breath in without losing the neutral. We're going back to a neutral position here. Breathe out, scoop. Then leg relaxes down. Breathe in, other side. It floats without this side moving. Breathe out first, scoop. Down. Good. 4 more. So very light legs, very stable pelvis, very stable low back. And I need to see the abdominals hollowing, not pushing to the ceiling. So it's the last one on that opposite leg. Good. Arms are going to go back up to the ceiling. You're going to keep marching and adding a crunch. Breathe out, crunch and march. Back up. Back down we go. Nice. So add that crunch to the leg. Still hollowing, still moving through that rib, not the neck. Last one here. Nice. And back down it goes. Okay, hands come down to the ground, imprint, and bring the legs up one at a time to tabletop. Let's try to do our double leg toe tap. So you're gonna scoop the abdominals and relax the legs down and bring it back up. Scoop. Imagine you're trying to imprint. You're still connecting your ribs to your hips. Your pubic bone is moving up and up. Try to zip your inner thighs to give you the activation of the midline of the body. Good. Let's do a couple more. Watch your back and keep the hip flexors pretty relaxed so you can move. All right. And bring it back. March the legs back down. Good. So now what we're going to do is we're going to bring one leg up and we're going to try to roll all the way up. We're going to do a teaser prep. So one leg squeezing the other leg. You may also keep the leg in 90 degrees. We've already done the toe taps and the marching, so that should be able to help. Now your arms are going to go back only as far as you can. And we're going to try to roll all the way up to seated. Squeezing the inner thighs, scooping the abdominals, coming up, keeping the pelvis rounded, reach to your legs. So if you need to bend the leg to help you, and if you need to hold on to the leg, you can. Otherwise, you may also, if your arms can come back, keep that rib stable, can come just as high as you can, and then lower. You can also, give me 3 rolling up and down for those of you who got it. Okay, you can come up with the knee bent or not, so choose what's appropriate for you. Also, when you come up, as you're squeezing the inner thigh, if halfway you need to bend the knee to allow you to come up, make sure the pelvis stays rounded, scoop the abdominals, don't stress the leg. As you go down, you can glue the legs back together and straighten back out. If you've done about 3 to 4 to one side, switch sides, and try it on the other side. Another same amount of numbers. Scoop, shoulders stay wide, pelvis stays rounded. Reach the hands to the toe, breathe out, keep squeezing that inner thigh if it helps you, and come back down. So same things here. If you can't come up, bend the knee to help you. Reach. When you come down, glue the inner thighs and re-stretch that leg back out. Okay, or like I said, you don't need to come all the way up. Just go as high as you can and then roll back down. That's also fine. Okay, so finish your last one. I see you guys are all up. Come down. And relax the leg down. All right, so for those of you who need a break, take a break. You can stick to this exercise, and the rest of us, we're gonna bring both legs up. You can march them one up at a time, imprint to march the other, and we're gonna try to do this teaser here, okay? Keeping the legs bent. Now you have to work much harder on keeping that pelvis and low back a little rounded, okay? So it's the same movement. Keep the inner thighs together, arms come a little bit overhead, and to start with, you can scoop the arm to come up. It gives you a little bit of momentum. So you can roll up, keep the inner thighs together, keep the pelvis rounded, reach the arm. You can keep it here and reach it this way. Breathe out and roll down. Zipping the inner thighs together, try to control the roll when you come back down, okay? Now, if you don't want to circle the arms around to give you momentum, it goes straight down. And it goes straight ahead. You roll as slow as you can. Keep the pelvis rounded. Reach the feet to the hands to the toes. And then zip that inner thighs together to help you control. So let's give me about 5 of these. Okay, so the arms either come straight through or you circle and you use that momentum to bring you up. Good. Keeping the shoulders nice and wide. Reaching away, nice and good. Scooping round, control it on the way down. Nice. So try to control that descent, and this should be the last one. And then hug your knees and rock side to side. Very nice work, everyone. Okay, so let's bring these legs back down. Good. And I'm going to work a little, still abdominals. Corkscrew. All right, so what we're gonna do is the corkscrew is a little bit difficult, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna break it down for you. So we're gonna bring the legs up to the ceiling. For those of you who needs to keep the knees bent, you can bend it all the way to 90 on this one, okay? So legs are gonna go up to ceiling. If you can straighten ribs, pelvis in neutral, ribs are down, head is down. Support your head if you need to. And what we're gonna do, I'm gonna have to face you on this one. Forgive my butt to you. We're gonna move the legs side to side. What I want you to do is make sure that your legs are at the same level. I'm gonna drop my leg towards my right, your right side, and my pelvis is gonna come up when my shoulders stay anchored. Then I'm gonna use my abdominal muscles to pull the legs back in. I'm gonna reach it to the other side. My pelvis comes up on this side, then I'm gonna pull everything back in, okay? So if your legs are bent, it's the same thing, because this movement of the pelvis coming up and you pulling it back down doesn't change, okay? So give me a few of those. Pelvis lifts. Now make sure that the legs don't misalign, they stay together, same level, just the pelvis comes up as you reach the leg, and try to reach and pull back from your abdominal muscles, okay? And then if you raise your head a little bit higher, it's gonna help you maintain the stability of the ribs. So go ahead and put a pillow under you or roll your mat under the head to help you. Okay, your hip flexors are gonna really be working hard, so try to relax them. If you need to, take your hand on the hips here, press down to try to release the tightness of the hip flexors, and you can keep the knees bent to do that. Okay, what I want you to feel is when my legs are to my right, I'm using my left muscles to pull it back down. Okay, when you're even on both sides, just hug the knees for a second. And now we're gonna add the circle to this. So we're gonna drop the legs to the right, circle the legs down and around, and bring it back up to the left. So I'm gonna drop my legs to the side. This side pelvis comes up, but the shoulder doesn't. I'm gonna scoop my abdominals, draw a circle, come back to neutral in the center, go to my left, my right pelvis comes up, and then I pull everything to starting position, okay? So at this angle, it looks like this. I'm gonna drop it to your right, pelvis comes up. I'm gonna circle the legs down, scooping begin stabilizing the abdominals at center. I'm continuing it towards the left. This pelvis is up, and then I'm pulling everything back here. So basically, I'm drawing a circle in the ceiling, okay? So let's try to do right, left, left, right, about 6 circles altogether. I'll try to be at an angle to see if that helps you here. So we're gonna drop the legs to the side, pelvis comes up, shoulder doesn't. Scoop the abdominals. If your knees are bent, it's the same thing. Lift the pelvis up the other side and pull everything back to center. Really zip the inner thighs together. Now go the other way, wherever you came from. You're going to go back that way, circle the legs around, lift the pelvis up, and pull everything back to starting position. And I'm going back around the where I came from. Lift and back up. Please feel free to keep those knees bent, no problem. Press into the hip flexors to release it. Good, we have one more to each side. Keep your inner thighs together. Keep your heels squeezing. The heel squeeze is gonna give you that connection to the midline. And then this is the last one. And hug the knees and rock side to side. Nice work. Okay. So legs come down to the ground. We're gonna straighten them out to get a little bit of a stretch. And we're gonna do some crunches here to work ourselves into a neck pull. So hands are gonna go behind the head. Okay, now the legs can be together or separate. Feet are flexed. And you're trying to press the legs down through the back of the body and open up the front. From here, you're gonna scoop the abdominals like we usually do. So scoop, push it to the back of the ribs, come up into a crunch. Don't pull the neck. Keep the head pushing back into your hands, elbow and shoulders wide. Roll back down. And let's go for 6. Breathe out, scoop and lift. Roll down with control. 2. Keep your shoulders and your elbows wide. Don't pull on your neck. Make sure it's your rib cage working. So scoop, push into the back of the ribs to lift the head and shoulders. Roll down without the ribs popping. 5. And 6. Very good. So what we're gonna do now is try to go into a full neck pull. Now for me, I have to support my low back, okay? Because my back is pretty arched and that might help me come up. This is a pretty difficult exercise for me to do, okay? So some of you that would like to cheat a little bit, you can try to hook your feet under something, but we're not trying to use the hip flexors, okay? Too much. We're trying to lift up through mostly abdominals. Now the neck pull, we're gonna start off with that crunch. Now I'm gonna try to come all the way up. So I'm gonna push my low back into that sponge. I'm gonna scoop and lift my abdominal. My pelvis anchors. I come all the way forward. My feet are still flexed. I'm gonna stack my spine back up against the wall. Then I'm gonna lean back into a flat back, but I'm reaching up, yeah? I'm lengthening. Once I cannot keep neutral anymore, I scoop my abdominals, I press my legs down, and I roll back down. Okay, so it's very difficult. Now, let's just keep the first one we were doing. If you're okay with this, you're just gonna keep the crunch going. If it bothers your back in any way to be here, just bend the knees more and continue the crunch. Just bend as much as you need. Okay, for those of you who wanna try the full thing, go for it. Give me about 3 to 4 of these. These are pretty hard. Yeah, you can do the full neck pull or you can just crunch. Now, for those of you who can just roll down, what you're gonna do is you're gonna start up here. You're going to lean back, keep the feet flexed, reach the heels out, and you're gonna roll back down as much as you can here. Then you're gonna roll to the side, Push yourself up. Yeah, straighten the legs. For those of you who got it, you can continue. And we're just gonna do the roll down part of this. So hands behind the head, shoulders and arms and elbows wide, and just roll through here. Try to keep the leg pressing. If that doesn't work, bend the bit to help you. Come back down, roll to the side, push yourself back up. Okay, let's do one or two more. Scoop the abdominals, lift the spine from here, flat back. So you're really lifting the body up to keep this neutral. From here, scoop the belly, zip the inner thighs together if it allows you to do that, and come down. Okay, try one more. For those of you coming all the way up, scoop, come all the way forward, stack the spine one bone at a time, and then lean back, lift, 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 lift. Once you can maintain neutral, that pelvis rounds, and slowly you control your way back down. Okay? If you have it in you to do one more, you can go for it. If not, just rest here for a second. Good. We're going to come up one more time, and this time, actually, I'm going to turn you to the side. I'm going to give the abdominals a little bit of break. So we're going to turn all the way to our belly, and we're going to come into a push-up position. So you're going to come here. If you would like to start from here, you can. If you want to go ahead and start up already, you can. Remember, you can come up into a plank from your knees, or you can come straight up, okay? Curling the toes. So you choose whatever is appropriate for you to lift up into your plank. That's good. Now, let's stay with the knees bent for now. Spread your fingers. Press all your knuckles and all the tips of the finger on the mat. And imagine you want to pull the mat, keeping all fingers pressing. Okay? Pulling from the fingers. Now from here, I want you to reach one leg back, lift the abdominals, pull the belly in, adjust the pelvis, and we're going to kick the leg up twice. So straighten your back into a nice neutral plank. You're going to kick, bring the leg back in. Good. Simone, try to straighten your back a bit more. You're very rounded. So pull the shoulders and scapulas down, hands under the shoulder, and lengthen. Now straighten the other leg out, adjust the pelvis, keep reaching the leg away, and do tiny 2 kicks up, pointing the toes, bring it back in. And reach, breathing in, breathe out. Keep reaching, pulse, pulse. So when you pulse, your pelvis should not rotate and your low back should not move. Reach, adjust, abdominals lifted, tailbone lengthening. Pulse, pulse, bring it back. One more on each side. Breathe in, breathe out, out. Last one. Breathe in, breathe, bring it in. Toes together, knees apart, stretch back. Good. Hands to ceiling and pull in. Nice. From here, we're going to turn and sit. And now we're going to try to do a back plank, okay? Now, please feel free to not do this and do a bridge instead. Also, I didn't mention on the other bridge, you can always go on your elbow. Sorry, the other plank. So from here, we're going to sit like this. If you can, bring the hands in. Go ahead. My elbows are still bent. I'm going to come up into this position. If this is impossible, keep the hands out. Okay, see what's appropriate for your elbows and for your shoulders. Now, if you cannot be in this position, just go down into a bridge and do the same thing we're going to do into a bridge here, okay? Otherwise, fingers in or fingers out. Roll the shoulders, pull the scapulas down, lift the chest up. So take your scapulas down and squeeze to lift the chest. From here, keeping the chest lifted, push your pelvis to the ceiling and bring it back down, okay? It's the back plank. Roll the shoulders, lift the chest, look straight ahead, and breathe out. Lift. So a lot of the back of the body is working, yeah? Your glutes and hamstrings. Watch your shoulders. If your shoulders are collapsing, you need to arrange your hand to where you can pull the scapula, chest is up, and there's none of this collapsing. Maybe you don't lift as high, but you don't round the shoulders. Really bad to round the shoulders on this one. There you go, Danny. You don't need to go so high. Good. Give me 2 more. Roll the shoulders and push. Squeeze the glutes. Knees are forward. Down. Nice. And lift, last one. And bring it in and down. Good. Roll your wrists. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reverse it. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Let's do one more of this one. We're going to stay up and we're going to march. Just 6. So if you're okay with this, great. If not, do a bridge. Okay? Roll the shoulders down, lift that chest. Scapulus pushes the chest up. Come up just as much as you can. Okay, my legs are hip width apart. Lift if you can, and you're going to march here. Try not to move anything and go up and down. 6. Keep pressing the hands. Lift the chest a little bit more, Simone. Lift your chest a bit more, yep. And when you're done with the 6, we're going to come back down. Keep your legs as are, or change it, and let's stretch those wrists, yeah? So just do a little bit of shooting stars. Roll the wrists a little bit. And then let's stretch that a little bit. The other side. Good. And release. Okay. So we're going to go back on our backs and back on working on this. So disc issues, this is not going to be very appropriate for you. Okay. We're going to be trying to work on rolling over. So we're going to get strong at that first. Now, level 1, we're going to bring the knees here. If you cannot bring the legs up and over, and you cannot flex at the hip, and you have discs, not for you, you're going to be doing single leg toe taps, okay? And then you can do double leg toe taps, like we did at the beginning of class. That's also going to strengthen you here. Okay, now for the rest of us who can take the load and the flexion on the spine, we're gonna start working these lower abdominal muscles. So I need your knees bent for now and inner thighs together. Arms pressing into the ground, shoulders away from the ears, and we're gonna roll the pelvis off the ground. So you're gonna pull the abdominals, zip the inner thighs, pull the pelvic floor, roll, and control it back down, okay? So let's try to do about 5 or 6 of those. Scoop and roll, and then control it on the way down. Scoop. Try to lift the pelvis. Now try not to kick the legs too much. Try to work through just those lower abdominals. Okay, and keep the legs as they are. Use your arms, yeah? The arms on the ground are really helping you. Good. Now, if you're okay with that, just hold the knees for a second. And we're gonna try with the legs a little bit straighter. If that doesn't work for you, stay with the knees bent like we were doing. So legs can be over here or it can be straight out. We're gonna try to do the same thing, reaching the legs a little bit more to the ceiling and then behind us, okay? So breathing out, using that lower abdominal to roll the pelvis up and down. All right, if you need to keep your heels together, zip the midline of the body, give me another 5 to 6 here. Try to control down and try to control up. Use your abdominals to get that starting point. Try to go up and then back. Up. Good, keep your shoulders away from the ear. And last one. And hug your knees and rock side to side. Okay, now let's try to go for a rollover. So you can stick to the first, stick to the toe taps, stick to the straighter legs, or if you have it, let's try to roll over. When we lift the pelvis and try to bring the legs back parallel to the ground, don't roll beyond your shoulders. So don't come to the neck or head. Okay, so you're gonna stay pretty low on the roll, which is actually more work here. So pressing the arms into the ground, you're gonna do the same thing. Press, bring the legs up in parallel, and just to the top of the shoulders, not to the neck. And then we're gonna roll down. Controlling the movement back here. Okay, if you can't do it now, just stick to trying to do it and coming back. Okay, so let's try to do anywhere between 3 to 4 of these. If you can't, remember, you're either here, or you're trying to do it with the leg a little straighter, or if you have disc issues, you're doing either single leg toe tap or double leg toe tap, okay? Keep working on that strengthening. So when you go up and over, remember, not to the neck, so you're only gonna feel the weight here, top of your shoulders. Keep your legs parallel to the ground. Keep your arms reaching and your neck long. Then use your abdominals to roll you back down, control. Okay, 1 or 2 more. Yeah, if you want to cheat a little bit with the hands, that's fine, yeah. So you go over, you can't anymore, use the hand to give you that push. And then when you're done trying or doing it, just rock side to side. Good, these are all preparations for the exercises, for the more advanced exercises. That's really good. Good. So let's come to our side. Here, take this hand, push yourself up. And we're gonna come to this sitting position. Now we're going to be doing a seated twist. And then we're also going to add side leg kicks here, okay? Now what I have here is actually let's do this. This top leg is gonna bend. Foot is in front of this leg on the floor. Okay, so I bent this top leg and my foot is in front of the back leg. This arm is here. Now, if you have issues doing a side plank, you can't do this. Just go ahead and do the side bananas that we usually do. Okay, and here to support your neck and here where there's really not that much load on your arms. Otherwise, you're here with me. We're gonna bring this elbow here to this knee and the hand goes up. Now what happens is your weight is all going to be on this leg and on this hand. The hand is in alignment with the hip, which is in alignment with this foot. They're all in line with each other. I'm going to push into this leg, lift my pelvis to the ceiling so my back leg can also support me. I'm gonna rotate and this hand is gonna reach towards my back leg. Okay, if you don't have the flexibility, keep the knee bent. Most of the weight is on this leg and this arm. It's pretty a lot of weight. You can keep both hands on the ground and then you can come back to starting position using both arms and legs is fine. Okay, so if you feel like you need this arm to help you, keep it down here and the back leg can stay on the ground as well to help you. What's happening is we're twisting. This leg is twisting a bit. So I'm facing you, I'm pushing into this leg and this hand to lift me. And then I'm going to reach pelvis to ceiling. My hand either stays here or it reaches towards my back leg. And to do that, this hand is pushing me, my butt is lifting, this arm is reaching, shoulders are wide, and then we come back. This hand can support you or you come back to the starting position. Okay, so yeah, most of you were able to do it, it's great. So work any of these options, they're all fine. I'm gonna go ahead and do the full option. So from here, I'm gonna push, rotate. Now, if I want to make it harder, the back leg actually is not on the ground. It's just barely touching or it's lifting. Then I come back, I bring everything back to starting position. Okay, watch the shoulder, make sure you're pushing the shoulders wide. This leg is doing a lot of work. Let's try to do 1 or 2 more. pick whatever is appropriate for you, okay? Remember, everything can be on the ground for you. Good. So from here, you're gonna press into the leg and hand, scoop the abdominals to lift the pelvis, reach the hand to the back leg, and the back leg can be either helping you or not. You come back down to starting position, and give me one more. So we've done about 5 to 6. Breathe out, use this leg, yeah, the leg and the arm, good. Push. If you wanna raise the back leg to challenge, you can. You don't have to, yeah? We're just starting this, so we're good. Good. So instead of using this hand again, all we're gonna do is switch to the other side. And here we go. We do the other side. Rotate that wrist that we used. Shooting star if you need to. Okay, roll the shoulder, press into the hand, bring the shoulder down. And on the side, little different, so be gentle. If you need to start here, go ahead. Pull the abdominals to lift. Press into this leg and this arm. Keep everything on the mat if you need to at first. Or back leg is floating. You're reaching the hand to the back leg. I don't know if you're ready to lift the leg or not. Come back to starting position. Use all your muscles to make it work. So the leg that's on the ground, the whole foot is on the ground. Yeah, Rania, we're not on the toes. We're not on the toes. This leg is fully planted. This leg can be on the toe or not, but this leg is not lifted. Yeah, it's not lifted. It's planted and rotated here. So there's a rotation that goes on here. You have to let it happen. Don't be heavy. All right, so keep working on it. 3 to 4 more. We did about 5 to 6 on the other side. So push into this leg here, press into this hand, lift, look, rotates. My hand reaches to the back leg. My back leg may lift or not, and then you come back to starting position. Good, nice, there you go. So allow the rotation of this bottom leg. Just kind of let it move a little bit with you. There you go, nice. Yeah, challenge. Keep pushing the arm and the leg that stay on the ground. Press, reach. So for those who are not very flexible, this leg can stay a little bent, right? Because it takes a lot of flexibility to be here. If you've done your 5 to 6, good, that's very nice. And down. So let's go ahead and move to this side again. Okay, and we're gonna come up on our knees. Change my camera a little bit. Okay, now we're gonna work on this side again, and we're gonna do some side leg kicks. So this is the more advanced version of the side leg lifts and kicks. You can always do them laying down on the ground, okay? Now, what I'm gonna do is I am going to lean over to bring this hand to the ground, and as I do that, this leg is going to reach up. Now, this is not the easiest position to be in, so a lot of you may need a block or something to put your hand on, because this requires a lot of flexibility and flexion on the torso. If that doesn't work for you, go lay on your side, okay? So this is our starting position here. Hand goes on your waist or behind your head. Keep the leg reaching out, and we're gonna go up and down. Now, pull the ribs in, connect the pelvis, lengthen the tailbone, lifting the pubic bone, and we're gonna go 10. 9, open up the chest, reach the arm to ceiling here or here. 3, 4, keep going. So this is your other option. 5, yeah, we all know this. 6, keep everything in the mouse hole here. 7, 8, 9, stay here. 10, flex the foot, kick forward, point back, breathe in, scoop and lift. 3, 4, going to 6, keep that leg up. 5, lift the leg up, and 6. Bring the leg in and stretch. Toes together, knees apart, stretch back, wrist up and pull in if you need to. Good. Give me 3 more breaths there. That's it, Rania. Good. Good. Roll yourself back up to seated. And come up. We're going to go to the other side. Okay? So you can do the full laying down version if you're ready for it. If we're going to go into more advanced, remember you can have that block here. It's going to help you. Otherwise, use your core to get you out to the side. The hand comes to the ground, the leg lifts up. Lift the abdominals, lengthen the tailbone, whoops, with the leg. The back leg is supporting you, so if you need the toes, that's fine. Okay? Now, arm here, here on your waist, and let's go up and down. 10. 1, 2, core. 3, watch those shoulders. 4, 5, 6, 7. This leg is working really hard. You should be feeling this hip. 8, 9, lengthen that body. 10, we stay up. Flex forward, point back, no movement on the body. 2, 3, so we're not doing this, yeah? 4, 5, 6, don't move that torso. Good, bring toes in, knees apart, stretch, hands to ceiling and round. Nice work. Good job. From here, let's go straight down to the ground. And let's do some back extensions, right? So let's go into our beloved swan. We're gonna try to go a little bit higher for those who can, okay? We start with our baby swan, so hands on the ground. Let's try to go a little bit more in line with shoulder instead of head. For those of you who need to keep doing the baby swan, your hands can be a little bit higher, okay? My legs are hip width apart. My abdominals are lifted. My tailbone is lengthening. So pull the shoulders and scapulas down, wide shoulders and elbows. Lengthen the back of the neck and head forward. You're going to activate your upper back to lift. Keep that tailbone long, keep the abdominals lifted. Use your hands to come up maybe a little bit higher. Make sure you're lifting that upper back. And then come back down again. Okay, shoulders, scapulas down and wide. Lengthen the neck and the head. Use your upper back to lift the chest forward and up. Lengthen the tailbone, keep the abdominals engaged, and then start using your arms a little bit more if you feel you can come up a little bit higher. Make sure you're not sagging those abdominals and the low back, okay? And then come back down. So the higher you go, the more you're gonna have to use your arms, but don't forget to use the back to lift you more. Bring the hands even lower if you feel you're okay. Pull the shoulders and scapulas down, widen the shoulder and the scapula, and start coming up even more. Keep the abdominals lifted, keep that tailbone long, come up maybe a little bit more, okay? And then come down a little bit slower. Be careful. If you're feeling your low back, just don't go that high, okay? Shoulders nice and wide, tailbone nice and long with the legs. Lift that abdominal and lift the chest. Lift the chest. Good. Keep those abdominals nice and lifted the whole time you come up. Good. Try not to squeeze your butt. Just try to keep your abdominals lifted and try to avoid squeezing the butt to help you. It's gonna engage a little bit. Good. Keep trying to go a little higher if you can. Good. Arms can keep coming down to help you come up more. So my pelvis is a little bit off the ground because I'm pretty tight. Okay? When you're done, you can keep your toes together, knees apart, and stretch back. Everybody looks pretty good. It's nice. I didn't see much, any compression on low back. Very nice, Simone. That looks great. Good job. Push your bum towards your heels. Reach your arms forward. Good. And then let's just turn into our backs. Let's do a little bit of bridging to relax the back, and then we'll do a bit of stretching. So knees bent, heels in alignment with your sit bones, shoulders down, lengthen the back of the neck. We're gonna press into the heels, scoop the abdominals, round the pelvis, and roll the spine up. Keep the chest, the ribs, the pelvis, and the thighs in a nice long line. So make sure we're not pushing through that spine. Breathe out, relax through the chest, roll down from that esophagus, one bone at a time, back to your neutral position. Okay, so just really roll it up and down to release the back. Keep the arms reaching forward, the neck long, scoop. Imprint. Keep rolling through that pelvis, reaching the knees forward, really lengthening through that tailbone, and using your abdominals really mostly for stability. Reach, and then from the chest, relax it, use all the way from the esophagus to roll yourself back down. Good, give me one more. Keep reaching those thighs really long to keep the spine as long as possible when you roll down. Good. So let's go into a little bit of a challenge. We're going to come up and lift one leg up. So you're going to scoop and round, find your bridge position that's comfortable, lift the abdominals, lengthen the tailbone, press the scapula here. Okay, we're going to lift one leg to the ceiling, keep the hips level by reaching this leg up. You're going to flex, bring this leg down, point, bring it up. You can also just keep the knee bends to come up and down. Let's do 5. This is 2. And up. 3. Breathe out. And up. 4. Flex and point. 5. Or just keep it flexed, keep it pointed. Bring it back down. Good. Readjust. And the other leg comes up. Chest, ribs, scapula's down. Lift. Bring it down. Breathing out and up. You can flex down. Point up. Flex down. Point up. 2 more. 4. Good. Keep that pelvis stable. And 5. Good. Bring it down. Adjust the pelvis. Lengthen. And let's go down really slow. Breathe in. Breathe out. And go. First bone. Lengthen the spine. Second bone down. Lengthen the spine more. Don't roll the shoulders. Third bone. Lengthen. 4th, lengthen as you come down. 5, keep those sides reaching. 6, 7, 8, take your time. 9, 10, release. Cross one leg over the other and pull. Push the knee away, pull the legs towards the chest. Nice job. Give me about 4 breaths. Bringing the leg towards the chest more each time you breathe out. Last one. Release and switch. And I'm pushing my elbow with my elbow, my leg, and pulling the other bits with my hands. Try to keep your pelvis neutral, relax your shoulders. Nice 4 breaths. Each breath out, you try to bring the legs closer to you. You don't have to, you can just push knee, whatever you feel the stretch, whatever stretch is needed for your body. Last breath. Nice. And release. You can either keep your knees here or bring it to the ground. Let's just twist. So bring the legs to the side. Keep your shoulder down. And bring knees. So I have my hand on top of my knees. And I have my shoulder down on this side. So I get a nice stretch here on my back. Breathing in and out. Let me show you this angle. So here. You can bring the knees higher or you can keep it lower. And my hand is holding my legs down. Okay. And then bring one leg in and then the other. Readjust. You can drop it from this, yeah? Drop the leg, hand goes over, other shoulder and arm stay down. And breathe. Good. So this is my stretch. And then just bring the knees to the chest, hug, last hug. I'm gonna roll to the side and come up. You guys can continue stretching anything you want. I'm going to stop the recording.